I'm in Western North Carolina, and I am here because Hurricane Helene has really upended day-to-day life and caused an unthinkable amount of damage. Nearly 100 people have died in the state, and dozens are still missing. Of course, for the people here, the human tragedy and cost is really top of mind. But there's also another question that is developing at the same time, which is what is the potential impact of the hurricane on the election? North Carolina holds a particular importance in the Electoral College. The state has voted for Republicans in the last several presidential elections, last voting for a Democrat in 2008, and polling shows Kamala Harris and Donald Trump really neck and neck. Since some polling sites have been affected by Hurricane Helene, the state has immediately put in place some emergency measures to allow early voting to continue.
I signed bipartisan legislation that we all worked on that gave local boards of election in the damaged areas more flexibility.
Beyond the logistic impacts that the storm has had on North Carolina, it's also really changed the messages that you're hearing from some candidates in this election. Particularly the Republicans have spread outright misinformation or conspiracies about the storm. Republican governor candidate Mark Robinson has echoed calls from people like Donald Trump, who sought to blame President Biden and Democrats for the storm's lasting impact in a lot of areas here.
The ongoing spread of misinformation about operations is not okay. It has got to stop. We have over 2,000 people from the federal family in North Carolina, and misinformation will not deter us from our mission of helping people, period.
And that could have real impacts on people's ability to trust the results and a kind of faith in the electoral outcome. How do you deal with the question of trust in the election?
I think over time we have seen that there are a lot of emotionally pushed messages from all across the spectrum. While we respect everyone's right to have a position, we as a party at this point in our community feel like we have an obligation to protect that access.
The Republican Party chairman said that the way they're going to win people over is not going to be by talking about electoral results or even policy right now. It's about being there for people in the time of need. Food banking, giving people rides, helping people recover things that were lost since late September. And as those recovery efforts are happening, Democrats and Republicans are really investing to try to make sure that people still have access to vote, considering the importance of North Carolina and the overall landscape of the presidential election. And while we don't know what the overall impact of the storm might be on literal vote totals, I think we do know that for a lot of the people here, what they really want is for their lives to return back to normal. And for them, voting is a part of that.